All right. Hey guys, we're back for another episode of They Ain't Your Friends podcast. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Lovely.
Scale of 1 to 10. What's your number?
I'm about a 7.
That's not bad.
I would say a 7.
Fun. And it's about to get cold outside.
It is.
It's supposed to get cold outside.
Yeah, like the temperature's supposed to drop to like 40. It's the coldest it's been.
I thought you meant like the seasons. I was like, no, we're getting into, but it don't feel like spring.
And up north, they're going to get snow.
I thought that. I mean, I don't know what's happening with everything.
I'm telling you, like Mother Nature is really like sit y'all asses down.
Yep.
It's too
That's
much.
it. Let me work. Let me do some things here, cause y'all ain't been doing right. So I need to do some things. Y'all not gonna get y'all didn't get no winter. Y'all didn't get no spring.
That's what's so crazy. Like
Y'all not gonna have a summer.
Winter was so mild, and then this has been cool. It's been cool for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
I just want consistent sun.
Yeah.
Like, I just like fluctuate.
Yeah. That's my attitude fluctuates with the weather. Like,
yeah, it's too much.
If it's a sunny day, like I'm good, but if it's not, I'm like,
No, I agree.
Not good. All right, so what are y'all drinking? What y'all got?
I'm still drinking margaritas from Cinco de Mayo.
I have a spin on a margarita. So I do have tequila. I have tequila gold with some strawberry mix and lemon juice.
Oh, yeah.
This is number 2. I think I'm going to stop. The other day, Cinco de Mayo, I don't know.
Were you in the hubs drinking?
Oh, yeah. Well, no. See, he don't drink tequila. Duly noted.
Oh.
So I know what to buy. He's not a big tequila drinker. So he was like slow walking it. But me, I was just like, okay, Wednesday, like, what is happening?
I'm telling you, I think our guest Kim brought it up last week, but we going to have the highest tolerances when we get out of this quarantine.
Oh, I already know this. Like, I'm not even gonna be able to go to the bar. I'm gonna have to pre-game.
Yeah.
Go to the bar. Then go home. Because nobody's gonna make a drink how I make a drink. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say something about that too. Nidra, but before that, I didn't mean Nidra, what you drinking?
Oh, I am drinking some red wine today.
Oh, you real classy base.
I'm being classy today.
Okay.
Nice. But I was thinking about, I told y'all this a little bit earlier this week on text, but are we ever going to be at happy hour again? Like the club? Like, I just don't see it happening. I can't picture that people on top of people. I can't picture being comfortable in that for a while.
No, because let me say, I saw my family yesterday and I love my family. My family is a good time. But I couldn't like thoroughly enjoy them because I was scared.
Yep.
And I was like, y'all siblings, y'all got the same something. Go ahead and head out. If it was my brother, I would have been comfortable. But my biggest fear is if I'm asymptomatic, but
same.
And I just don't know. And so.
Yeah, I feel the same way though. Like my guilt, like I feel like I would feel terrible if, I've been carrying this.
And then I couldn't sleep. I was like, people die like this.
Now I do feel like I'm gonna get a warning sign. Like I don't think I would die in my sleep.
But I dreamt about it. Like I think people die like this. A simple gathering and then 5 people got it. Like
yes, that is true.
It's too much. So I just was like, I had my mask on talking and everybody's like, you just will keep wearing that mask.
Like, yeah.
Where y'all be at? Like,
well, that's how I feel too. So one hand, I feel like I would feel terrible if I'm asymptomatic and I brought it to somebody else. The other hand, I just be like, I look at my name, like I sit in my office. I'm in my office right now. So I look out the window all day. They come and go all day. Got like a teenage son. I don't know if he got a job or something, but he get in his little truck and go somewhere every day couple times a day, I'd be like, I'm gonna have to be like Lunel. I'd be like, you can't come back in my house. Like, and I watched something. I read an article about a woman in DC, and she's like 41, and she's on a ventilator and in the hospital. And somehow they interviewed her. I don't know if she's home or what, but she basically was like, I think because this ravaged the whole family. I don't know that they've had any deaths, but they've been really sick. But she was like, I think my teenager brought it in the house because when it first started, he was bringing people in with no disregard to, because, they're young, they think they're invincible, they're not, because I was in Target and these young girls came in and they like had their mask like in their hand and like would hold it up like, like as needed. And then the manager or whomever was like, excuse me, do you have like your mask? And they were like, yeah, we got masks. And he was like, well, you have to put them on or I have to ask you to leave. I mean, oh my God, first of all, it's an ordinance by the governor. But second of all, they were like, it's not that serious. Oh my God. But I'm like, it is that serious. Like,
wow.
It really is. And I just think young people don't, at that age, that's what teenager, young adult is, they don't have fully developed cortex.
Yeah.
I do understand that, but they gonna get us killed.
I don't know. I just was at the grocery store the other day because I did do 2 parade parties. So one was for Miss Coley, the cheer director. Mm-hmm. So we went to that, and I went to the grocery store to get her some flowers. And while I was in the line, first of all, this man was talking to me, and I was like, "You ain't really 6 feet." But I was like, And then the little girl took her mask off. I was like, "This is what you're gonna do? Like we in the elements." And I think, and it's becoming a fear. So have y'all seen the video of the lady and the doctors, and they're talking about how we shouldn't wear the mask because we need to keep our immune systems built up? Have y'all seen that?
Yeah, that's the video they're trying to get off of Facebook.
Right.
Because they're saying it's propaganda and it's not real.
But I agree with some of the viewpoints. So like I said, like when I go back to, like, I have a very high tolerance in the immune system. So I don't get sick as easy, but I've built it up over the years. But when I go back to work, I'm gonna be like a baby in daycare because all them germs, the kids, it's gonna be too much. I don't know. It's too much. It's overwhelming.
It's funny though, because in the same Target run I was in, this lady, we were in like the hair care aisle, and she had a cart, and somebody was behind her. So they were minimally a cart length away, and I think there was some other space. But you could just tell the lady behind her wasn't being rude. She was just kind of like, because I mean, it is somewhat annoying when you're in the store and you're like, I just want this one thing right there. Let me just get that and move out the way. And she kind of was peeking, and the lady was like, we're supposed to be at least 6 feet apart. I'm just looking at this, and then I'll be out of the way in a moment, but I need you to back up a little bit. She was like very like, they were both Black ladies. She was very like not rude or ghetto about it. I mean, she was very like proper, but she was like, I need you to back up. That's basically what she was saying. She was like, we're supposed to be 6 feet apart. I will be done momentarily, but so I need you to because you could just tell the lady was about to like probably reach for something. And I get it too, because she was browsing and taking all day. And I was like, people
like that today, because I had ran to Target real quick to get cards and Mother's Day cards. And I was like, now the Mother's Day cards out. It's going to be a little congestion. So I left. I said, I'm going to double back. The crowd should be gone. When I'm trying to look at the cards, I can feel this like lady, like, I try to scoot over. Do you go in and out?
Girl, I was at the Target doing the same thing, Mother's Day cards, and it was early though, so it's like 3 people. But this lady had her cart, and I don't know if this is her way of trying to keep 6 feet, but she's looking over here, but then she pushes her cart, but I'm trying to look right here, so I'm like, if you don't move this daggone cart, we would have still been at least 4 feet apart. But I was like, I appreciate that, but she can't take up the whole Mother's Day cart. Right. On the Friday, Thursday before Mother's Day. Like, you need to pick up and go, or at least look from a distance. Like, I looked from a distance and I was going to go in and get what I wanted and step back out.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. It's overwhelming. You get worked up. Then you feel all contaminated when you leave. It's just.
But my thing is, how can we ever go back to normal? Like, now that this is in your mind, How do you ever
you hear somebody call you like, oh.
Like the idea of being like in our little, Cheers, our little version of Cheers, the idea of being in there, the way people are just on top of each other, and you get a drink and somebody reach over, like right now, I can't fathom that, but I want those days to come back. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm gonna be the one in there.
You're gone out of days eating people French fries.
Yes.
That won't be happening anymore.
No time soon.
No time soon. I can't believe you did that.
Did that? How about does that? Done it more than once.
I'm so hungry.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Ooh, that brought a little tear to my eye. Oh my God. But Toya, you've been posting all these memories. I'm like, oh my God.
Cinco de Mayo.
That Cinco de Mayo was so
Was
fun.
that at Lero that time?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I thought. That was
You left us, but me.
Oh, because that's when y'all was acting up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Y'all. Oh.
Good times.
Holidays. Those were the days.
Good times.
Man, good times. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
All right. So what are we talking about today?
Insecure. Insecure is the highlight of what is going on. It couldn't have been a better time. We have something to look forward to.
I wish it came on at like Friday nights because it is such like. That's okay. He's a friend of the show. Did you say he was sitting in the audience?
Yes. We don't need your ratings yet. Bye.
Oh my goodness.
Too much.
But like, I wish it came on Friday nights because I'd be still having such like mixed emotions because Sunday night at 10 mean that like the weekend is over and it's done. So it's like on one hand, I want to hurry up and Sunday night and 10 to come because I want to see the show, but I also be sad because I'm like, damn, tomorrow's Monday morning.
Tomorrow's Monday.
But all these days are blended together anyway, so it don't make a difference.
Well, that's for me because when Monday hits, like boom, school starts. I be teaching a little one. I be doing my work. Like the weekends, I have taken to like one day a weekend. So I have been doing a project on one day and nothing on another. So like usually Saturdays, I just be like, don't ask me for nothing. I might cook a breakfast or something, but I ain't doing nothing productive. Might go to the store. So like that Monday means back to the grind, the new grind.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm the same way too. I actually dread Mondays, and I'm not a person that dreads Mondays. But I've been dreading Mondays because I'm like, oh God, I'm going back to talking about this goddamn coronavirus.
I was gonna text you the other day. Everybody really, but like I saw all my work meetings were like, so due to COVID, we're not doing ... or after this is all over, due to COVID ... Like I just feel like that's like a precursor to every conversation, everything.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And I don't want to write about it. I don't want to make graphics about it. I don't want to do anything about this.
And here we are talking about it.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What were you saying? We talking about Insecure.
Insecure. Yeah. So I think last Sunday, by the time this show goes live, episode 5 would have aired. So we're going to talk about episode 3 and 4. And the great thing about Insecure, what it has always done really well is exploring just all the kind of like dynamics of a good girlfriend relationship. And so we want to talk about Molly and Issa, and their friendship they've been really good at kind of like taking us through this journey where we already know where it's going, but they've done a really good job of like providing all this kind of like background information. So like, so that now we're coming up on these episodes, everybody has a really good kind of like idea of what Mossy.
Glass of wine.
When did you start this wine?
Right.
I started about 5 o'clock.
Jeez, when did you start said wine?
I was still working, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to type out this communications plan with a glass of wine.
Oh, I had wine while I was rewatching Insecure, but it was around 5 too.
Yeah, so I started at 5. But anyway, just talking about Molly and Issa's relationship. So episode 3, were there like particular points in episode 3 that you wanted to share, Andrea?
Because episode 3 was
Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Low-key thankful. So, I mean, it's just so much to unpack. But like the thing that's really good about the writing too, they're legit. Like, you know how you watch most shows and someone's like a villain or someone's clearly right, and someone's clearly wrong. There's no like right or wrong, and that's what makes it so good because it's just so real. Like it's so real. But like on episode 3, I mean, not just Molly and Issa, because we need to talk about Condola and Lawrence too. But like on episode 3, the thing that broke my heart is when Issa decided to not go to get the pie, right? So like, I feel what her brother said, like, you don't have to do anything. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact, but you don't have to do anything that disturbs your peace. And Toya, like you and I talked earlier this week, and at first, I get, and I'm so torn because this is real life, right? Like, I get it. That's like a real thing. Like, I know me, like Nidra, you actually do a good job of putting you do a good job of boundaries. I know I'm really bad with feeling like I owe it to someone. Like, oh, I should do this because it is, and I promise, because I know Marcus, my husband's forever like, why we going to that? I was like, well, they always came to my stuff, or my mom really wants me to just stop in and say hi, and I'm forever doing stuff like that. And so I really get, and I think that's a new trend, which is a good thing. Like people are putting themselves first, and you don't owe anybody your time, and you shouldn't do anything that disrupts your peace. But at the same time, I'm struggling with that because you do owe some people some things, right? Like even though that's not like on trend to say, but I feel like there are people in your life who have done things for you, that you owe them A, the benefit of the doubt, and B, just the like they were supposed to talk. And like somebody's parents' house, she was making pie for her. She's like, make the crust extra crispy. Because that's what I like. Like I just hate that she didn't make it. And I understand, like it's Thanksgiving, you just had a good time with your brother. You don't feel like no mess. So I get Issa's too. Like I don't feel like doing that today. I just want to enjoy my moment and be in my peace. So I'm just so torn. And that's why I think the writing is so good, because it's real. Like it's nobody you can clearly say like Molly was wrong or Issa was wrong, or people have said that. So there's a lot of internet arguing, but I just think it's just so real because, I think that people are getting carried away with the whole, and this is just me talking, with the whole like, I'm not gonna let anybody take away my peace, and if I don't want, and your parents raised you, but you don't owe your parents nothing, and I'm like, I kind of disagree with some of that thought process. It's very millennial, right? Which I appreciate that they're looking out for themselves, and I appreciate that people are taking the opportunities to put themselves first and not be, like I said, I know I'm the other extreme. Like I know I do a lot of things that I don't often want to do because I feel like I owe it to someone, or I should, or it's the appropriate thing to do. So I know I may not be the best person, but I also feel like there needs to be a little of that. There needs to be a little commitment and a little bit of owing somebody something, because that is real, and that's how you have relationships. Because I think a lot of these people who are they're gonna be on an island by themselves when they're 75 years old, and they look up and they add themselves to the point that they don't have anybody. And you sometimes part of relationships is give and take.
So give and take.
I don't know.
Okay, so I wasn't really mad at Issa for not going. because she could sense, like she could feel the tension between the two of them. So I felt like Issa was like, man, I ain't going over there for no bull crap today. Like, I just had a good time.
Right.
I gotta talk about some old heavy stuff. I'm out. But the issue that I do have is that they're not fully communicating.
Right. But see, that's why I thought Thanksgiving was a time for them to do that. Like, over there and have some pie.
Like, it definitely was. But, like, even a text exchange.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I just did not understand. And I was telling Andrea this the other day. I said, y'all do this. And it blows my mind. So you'll be like, oh, I'm going out for drinks. Okay, well, who are we going to drinks with? I mean, like, why you just can't say me and my coworkers are going to drink? My mother's husband fell out in the floor, so me and my brother are having a good time at Thanksgiving. Why you just gonna be like, not gonna be able to make it? We're friends. I just don't get it. And I guess it's me, because that's just who I am. Like, girl, such and such and such happened. I ain't gonna be able to make it. I feel like if you give details, people won't, like, your friends won't be offended or taken aback about your choices. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
Girl, you fine. But I thought about that, like, after you said it, and I was like, I hear you. I think that it's not intentional. Sometimes you're vague, but not intentionally vague, because you don't even think about it. You know what I mean? Like, and so watching it from the outside looking in, I completely agree. Like, if she just would have said this, I wish she just would have said.
Yeah, like, I think it definitely would have went a different way.
But thinking about it, because when you said that, I was like, I guess I do that sometimes, because I was thinking about the other day. When we were recording a couple of weeks ago, and you was like, and I said something, it was vague, but I didn't think about it when I said it. I was just like, oh, I gotta be somewhere, I gotta do stuff. You're like, well, what you doing? We stuck in the house. I got nothing happy hour. And he was like, well, why you didn't say that? I was like, I don't know. I just thought we knew what I was
like, I'm going out of work.
Dude, what are you doing? Because we're on quarantine. Where are you going?
Nowhere. That's what I thought you knew. So from the outside looking in, I do get that, but I think when a person does it, they don't necessarily know that they're not intentionally being vague. It's just, they're just thinking, oh, let me just say this real quick. But seeing the other side of that is like, now you have a miscommunication, somebody feeling a certain way. So I wasn't mad at Issa for not going to Thanksgiving. It just hurt, because I was like, oh, that was the opportunity for them to have some one-on-one talk time. And now it's not there. And again, like, I just feel like when you do something and you don't owe it to anybody again, but you always come over for Thanksgiving for the pie. And when you start breaking those traditions,
I'm about to say, when you start breaking that, or that stuff stops happening, that is the absolute, like, indicator of the decline. Like, it's when you start skipping out on stuff, it's just, that's the decline.
Mama gonna ask about you, like, oh, what
yeah, of what's happening. I mean, and I will say, and I'll acknowledge, like, that beginning scene when they were at the grocery store, and they just, like, both kind of, like, attacked each other, which was really weird. Awkward,
as they said.
Yeah. It was really weird that they both, like, attacked each other. But I did think, like, at that time where they were like, you know what? They finally said it, because they hadn't been saying anything. They finally said, something's off.
Yes.
And we got to have this conversation. And I think that, after that day that Issa had with Thanksgiving, I think she just probably, again, like, I'm just echoing what you guys said, is she was just like, I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing this today.
And then
I want to go home.
I had my margaritas. Me and my brother, like, bonded, had real deep conversation. I ain't about to have this heavy mess going on.
Yeah.
And it probably makes it worse, because Molly probably scrolling on Instagram, and she don't know that the father got sick and they had to move the party to the Mexican restaurant. So it just looks like, oh, you ditched me and you and your brother went out and had margaritas with no context. So then I was like, that's another layer of.
And nothing that they had in the show, but as a friend, like, I don't want to keep hearing about your relationship drama. Like, I just don't.
But
if you choose to keep making these choices?
Who said she had drama though? That was the whole point. Like Issa was like, "Oh, you about to fuck this up again?" She's like, "Wait a minute, we're doing good. Me and Andrew doing good. You just gonna act like my relationship ain't, like." So that was the other part. Like, she wasn't even talking about no drama. She was like, "Should I invite Andrew? Because we doing really good." And Issa was like, "Oh, here you go." And I was like,
but she knew, like, there you go. You doing too much. Pump them brakes. Then he asked to be invited. Did he show interest?
Like Lawrence invited himself to Thanksgiving.
Invited himself. That was interesting.
Oh, that was bad.
That was real life too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you talk on this? Because I got some thoughts, but you kind of like you in this life right now.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely like, because you on one hand, like I definitely understand, like you're in this position, you like this person, but y'all are not there yet. And so when they start to kind of like impose themselves on those very intimate like times of your life, you're like, okay, like sure, like okay, well let's rock with this, let's go with this. And I like that Condola was, because I'm not sure yet what Lawrence is expecting from Condola. I mean, I can't grasp yet.
I had a takeaway when I watched it the second time. He thinks he's a catch.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that he thinks, well, of course, why wouldn't a black woman in her 30s, professional, she want to be, get chosen, and I'm the good, I'm the, black man, good job, no kids. So he thinks it's his choice. You know what I'm saying? If he chooses her, she gonna be down for the whatever. So he was so taken aback by, that's why he just jumped on it. Oh, you haven't, I'll come. You know what I'm saying? Like he said it in a way like, of course she wants me there, not thinking like, I don't know if this, because this makes it real. Like inviting someone, especially when you're the host, and having someone come to like Thanksgiving, and introduce them to all your friends. That's something. Go ahead, Toya.
That made me think about how he did the bank girl.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when
the cookout?
Yes, with the family cookout. Like when she was like, "Come on to the cookout," and he was like, "Oh."
Yeah, he's like,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I thought.
She was on the other foot, like he really digging Condola, and she just like, we here to have
I like you, we're having a good time, but
and he didn't even stop to think that she might not be on it, because he just assuming, I'm this cut, she probably want to move forward. It's me deciding, is she the one? Not does she have any input in this? So I kind of like, I didn't think that the first time I saw it, but the second time, because he was so taken aback. He was like, "So your friend said, so what? You don't want to be married?" Or I mean, he was just like outdone. Like,
yeah, like he jumped a whole lot of conclusions.
Jumped up to a whole lot of
that one conversation though. Like I don't even think I would have took
like, "Oh, you don't want no family?" She's like, "I just got divorced a year and a half ago."
Chill.
Oh, you still in love with him? I didn't say that.
Right.
This don't got nothing to do. I got on my black and white short set. I'm in here having Thanksgiving. This ain't about that.
I'm having a little light Friendsgiving. This is too deep right now. This is way too deep.
By the way, her friends, I was like, oh, I'm either low class or because that seemed boring in the mug. I was like, her friends are boring.
Look, Adrian, that's something Nidra go to without us.
I was like, oh, they're boring. I was
like, and the way they were judging the drunk friend, I was like, see, them the kind of events Nidra behaving, not being there drunk and everybody judging me.
I mean, the jokes were corny. They were dry. I was like, oh, this Friendsgiving? I thought he was going to be like, I don't fit in. Because I was like, they real dry.
He had him a good time.
Everybody was focused on his little shirt. It was just...
And you could tell, he was like, yeah, I impressed the friends. I'm in there. But Condola was like, slow down, partner. Slow down. And you know what was sweet though? That's why I just love Black shows with Black people by Black people. At the end, very end of that episode, when they started playing that Maya song, I was like, "That's the perfect song," because that little bubble came back up when he texted he DM Issa, and you heard like, "What is it that she wants?" Like, yes.
Yeah, okay. So do we want to talk about Molly and Andrew in episode 3? Because do you think, I did have a question for y'all. Do you guys think what her mother said about, remember when Molly asked, she was like, "Mom, I was thinking about inviting him. Do you think it was too soon?" And her mom's like, "If he's right for you, he's right for you. There's no timing on it." What do you guys think about Molly's mom and what she said about that?
That's true, but that's also that old school way of thinking too. Like, you gotta know in your heart if somebody is ready for that. Cause you can jump out there and be like, "Oh, you think you want to come for Thanksgiving?" He didn't even want to talk to you about his sister. So I don't Thanksgiving.
I think too, the older you get, the more your parents, like, I don't know if I want to say surprise you, but like when you're 19 and you're like, "Don't be bringing that boy over here. He's nothing." But when you're in your 30s, your parents kind of hit you different. Like, "Yeah, go ahead and bring him." Maybe they trust you more. They see that you kind of a little bit more astute. So they're like, "Oh, sure, bring him. If you feel like it's right." And she was like, Molly was surprised. Molly was like, "Oh," and I think it was contrary to what Issa said. And so she was like, "Oh, here's somebody that cares for you, giving you that feedback."
Right. Yeah. Oh gosh,
what did you say, Toya?
What Nidra had done?
Was it 3 months?
Yeah.
I probably would have invited if I felt like our feelings were on the same level and that we were working towards something. I probably would have invited.
But you in Molly and Andrew's shoes. Like, if you were in Molly and Andrew's shoes, what would you have done?
Oh, I probably wouldn't have invited him.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't invite him.
Either. I think I would have been like, maybe he's a little bit right. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't invite him.
And I would have
especially with,
and he got mad. So I'm not.
Yeah, especially with how Molly was sharing that, like I feel like I have not tapped into that more, like that deeper level into Andrew. Yeah, I wouldn't invite him either.
And then once you bring somebody to your family house, I mean, that's a whole, friends are one thing, family is a whole.
But I was also going to say, like, bringing people around your family, you have to really talk about that with the other person because it means different things. Some people will bring whoever they want around a family, and family just be like, whatever.
Hey.
They'll be like, "I know this is what he do."
Right. That's the men in the family. Like, that's the
moment they had. That's the moment they had. They was like, that was so real. I was like, that's real. Yes. I can see me and my mom being like, "You see the other guy like a girl."
My cousins are known. We be like, "Oh Lord, what is this?" They be like, "What's her name?" I ain't getting to know that girl. She ain't gonna be back.
Exactly, right?
What does it is totally different. Like, it really means something.
Yeah. So that's all. Like,
was that Masika?
Yes,
yeah, it was.
I thought so.
With them stripper shoes.
Yeah.
Yep, it was. It was her. Yeah. So So that's another thing too, because for a woman, it could mean something like completely different than for a man. Yeah. So you definitely got to have that conversation when you're talking about like for something new.
You don't want nobody asking you about whatever happened to that Asian dude you brought. Like,
you know they will.
I don't. We're not doing that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so let's go into episode 4, which is, I think, Issa is a month away from the block party. Schoolboy Q falls through, and they go and visit Tiffany after she has delivered the baby.
Right. So first of all, when she bumped into Lawrence and Condola at that coffee shop.
Oh yeah.
That was so awkward. I was like, ooh, this is awkward.
That was in episode 3.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all jacked up, but that was we'll
That
carry on.
was awkward.
Yeah, so I like the baby thing because they did touch on things that like, and they did it in a real succinct. They didn't drag it on, and it, but they did it in a funny way. Like things that Black women, go through babies.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy. Like that's when you really just felt, and you could tell they still have love for each other, because like Issa asked, Kelly, oh, has what you call this Molly say anything about me? She's like, no, why? And you could tell Issa don't want to just be like, man, you know what I mean? It was kind of like probing. And Molly was kind of the same way, when she was talking, and they're all friends. So you don't want to put your friend in an uncomfortable position talking about another friend. So it's kind of like a creep situation. The whole thing just made me stomach hurt. Like,
what made me mad though with Molly that episode was when she was judging Issa outside with Lauren.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, had y'all judged me like that, I would be like, are you serious? This is what we do?
Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, I didn't think that was fair.
I was like, are you serious right now? But I'm the one with the drama. I just did not like. Even if you're mad,
right?
You don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't think that was fair.
Dagger. Molly was throwing daggers.
When she said that joint, like, we did that last week, girl. Like that was unnecessary too. Like that was shady and unnecessary too. Like when I forgot what Issa asked, but like where did
the towels go or something like that.
And she was like, girl, we did that. I really like that too, because for some reason they never showed that on TV. But that is what friends do, like after you have a baby or something. I love that. Like that was so real and so understandable. They were just over there folding up little baby clothes and getting her stuff together. And that's what friends do. They come over like, girl, let me help you get your stuff together. But you don't really see that on TV shows like that. Like it's just like, oh, here's the beautiful baby. But I like how they kind of were doing that, but it wasn't a thing, but it was the thing. But Molly just kept making little comments, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, when what was that joke when Molly was talking about like,
oh, Jada Pinkett, you at the red table now.
And Molly just was like, and she was like, girl, I just made a joke. What she did, it was funny.
It was a light joke. It wasn't no shade. It was real light. Like,
yeah.
I understand why Molly was like, she can't come, but like Issa isn't planning this big event. Like I don't like, that's the thing I feel like I have a problem with, that Molly is so used to being the busy one and on top that she can't handle that Issa now has a life. She's doing something that makes her happy, but it's not including her. And I think that is what is the root of all of this. Like
that's definitely part of it. And in all fairness, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Their friendship dynamic is changing. And it's tricky because, right or wrong, their relationship has had a dynamic.
Yeah. Issa has definitely depended on Molly for a lot.
Right.
And Molly has depended on Issa too in a different way. And that's why, like, again, but it's just so sad to me because I'm just like, they both are just, the dynamic is changing. And like Toya said earlier, they just won't talk. Like the communication breakdown is just such a big part of this. It just is hurtful. But Molly, in this particular episode, I did feel like it's like her feelings were hurt, but instead of saying her feelings were hurt, she was just lashing out. Because that little comment about, oh, we did that last week. And again, she felt bad because then we learned in the beginning, Issa was like, oh, sorry, we've been missing self-care Sundays,
yeah.
So that was kind of messed up to know. It sounds like it was more Issa that's been canceling. But I don't know if she's been like, hey, girl, we not doing it, or just they haven't been talking. But it's just sad.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's get to the elephant in the room. And that is when Schoolboy Q had dropped out, and Issa is looking for a new headliner for her block party, and she calls Molly for the favor. So what do y'all think about Molly calling her back and saying, I'm not going to ask Andrew for that favor to hook you up for your block party, which is a huge undertaking that she's doing at this time.
I was mad because I've feel like, oh, well, give me Andrew's phone number. Like,
because she could absolutely get to Andrew. All she has to do is call the dude back. What's the light eyes? What his name? Because he called her in that episode.
He did. He did.
So she could just go around her, but of course she's calling her best friend. And Molly just kind of patched things. So here's the one thing I'm liking with Molly's growth, because she's acknowledging that she really doesn't have the tools to set up a successful relationship, but she's working through it with Andrew, and Andrew's being flexible enough to work through it with her. Yeah. So I did like the conversation that they had in episode 4, where she was like, look, I have really honestly have not been in a relationship long enough to have experienced this. And he's being very honest with her, like, look, I don't think you have space for me. But they are like trying to work it out. She acknowledges, like, you are a priority. I'm gonna make you a priority. And I like that they're trying to work. So I do like Molly's growth. And I feel like Molly she's at a very interesting point where she knows her friend. Regardless if they talking or not talking, she know her friend. And when Issa asked this very big favor for her to be like that liaison, that conduit, she's like, okay, do I ask Andrew for this favor? And what if it doesn't go through? How am I going to look to Andrew with, I'm the person that hooked this up.
Right.
Like she could have been like, I'm not doing it. You can call Andrew yourself. Like, I just feel like it's, again.
That is true. No, that is true.
Yeah, like that's what I said. She could have easily went around Molly. But in Issa's mind, she's like, that's my girl. She's gonna hook me up. She's never let me down before.
But at the end of the day, it probably would still come back to Molly, because Andrew would probably be like, oh, so your girl hit me up, like, should I get...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But this is what I, like, again, just heartbreaking, but Molly, I think, is at that point, they're in their early 30s. I think Molly sees her friendship failing, or, going through a rough spot, and she's trying to make a decision. She's like, this could be her forever dude, you know what I mean? And it's sad, though, because what's sad is the realization that she thinks Issa's a fuck up, and that kind of came true, and that's hurtful to know that your friend, like, I would be so hurt if, like, because that's like a double-edged sword, right? Like, with your friends, you're supposed to be, and I've had this conversation with Marcus, we've had this too, like, with your husband, with your friends, you're supposed to be honest. You show them everything. You show them your failures, your good, your bad. But then when you're in a vulnerable position, for them to spit all those wrong things that you've done back at you, and to know that, so deep inside, you really been thinking, I'm just nothing. I'm a screw up. Like, that's what's became clear in this episode, is that Molly's like, oh, Issa's doing Issa again. You know what I mean? Did you do this? What did you do to mess this up? And they kind of set the scene for that with how she forgot to do the water thing with the apartment. Is that lady's real son? Because that little boy looks like her.
How old are you?
How old are you?
So I feel like they set the scene for, like, Molly being sort of known as irresponsible, but it hurts to know that your friend sees you that way when, you've told them all the things you maybe messed up at, or, you think you're being vulnerable, and then when they shoot that back at you, that's a hurtful thing. Like, oh, I didn't know all this time you were thinking I was a screw up. So,
but can't both things be true at the same time, where, like, I love you, but you are a screw up. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. Oh no, yeah. It hurt, but it still hurts. And
yeah.
The thing that was hurtful too is, like, when you saw Issa call Molly, they haven't talked in forever. They haven't had the connection. She picks up the phone. She's kind of happy her friend is calling her, and then she asks for something.
Yes.
Heartbreaking.
Yes.
In that moment, Molly really intended on asking Andrew. I think in that moment, I don't think there was any lying or any faking. I think in that moment, she was like, sure, I'll just do it. But then when she got with Andrew, she's like, we might have something here. I don't know what's going on with Issa. I'm not about to mess this up. And Issa fooled around and mess up Andrew at work, and then he's mad at me, and this could be a real relationship. So I wasn't mad at Molly. It was just sad because Issa was hurt. And you could tell it hurt Molly to tell Issa that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Girl, I ain't doing it. She was like, look, You could tell she processed it. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it. You could tell she was just like, you know, it wasn't like she got joy out of telling her, no, girl, you called me for this, and this, and then you didn't. It hurt her to tell her that. So.
Yeah, because also at the same time, like, no, the favor involves Andrew and his job, right? It's his livelihood, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty high stakes.
Yeah.
To ask for a favor like that, especially when it involves like the way that you earn your living. So I think that factor was in there, and of course Molly being like, I really want to be able to protect this space that I have with Andrew.
Right.
I want to protect this space that I have with him because, you know, I haven't been doing a great job, and he's given me the flexibility to try and like work on it and grow within this space. And like you said, like I think it was all sad. I honestly am not on. I can't definitively say like, oh, Molly shouldn't have did this or Issa shouldn't have done that. But it's going to be interesting what comes next, and then afterwards, because this is 10 episodes. We're only on episode 4.
I know.
And then the festival is, because what happened to Condola? Do y'all think Condola had anything to do with Schoolboy Q drop?
Where is Condola?
But I think Condola was like, you know what? I need a break from you and Lawrence. And
after Thanksgiving.
Yep. And I think
you Condola to get yourself together, because what you're not gonna do is what I'm trying to kickstart off with my.
And that's what I think Molly's gonna be like. I told you. Don't get too close to that girl. Because this is gonna get messy.
I get all of it. It's just too much. It's too much.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's too much.
Friends fall out. It's worse than falling out with your boyfriend. It's too much. It's way too much. And
I think I thought about too with Andrew. Molly didn't want to do Andrew like Issa did her. They kind of had a rough patch. And then she come over there, they make up. Then y'all be like, so also I was wondering, can you hook my girl up?
Right. So she has this block party in a month that you know about, but she lost her headliner. Like, how did you lose your headliner?
It was ways around that. Like, she could have, it didn't have to be like we kissy face and then so Issa need this. It could have been like, dang, Issa just hit me up. Like, it's just ways around things.
But my other thing was, where's Daniel? Don't Daniel got to connect with all of them?
Remember at the end of last season, Daniel didn't have the connects that he said he did. Because remember the rapper carried him at the club or whatever?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. They couldn't get in VIP.
Crazy.
Yeah, they couldn't get in the VIP or whatever. Yeah.
But also, Daniel don't want nothing to do with Issa either.
Right, that's what I was about to say. That's another bridge burned.
That was a lot of things. Look, the girl was going through some things. Okay?
But that's why I'm just like, I'm not, like you said, Nidra, I'm not Team Issa or Team Molly. It's just so unfortunate. The whole thing is just heartbreaking to watch. Like,
I'm definitely not Team anybody, but I just feel like I see faults on both ends.
Yeah.
Like when Issa left, it was like, I gotta go. She could have said, oh my God, the headliner just dropped out and I gotta figure some stuff out. I'm gone. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just leaving, like, oh, I'm out. Well, where you going? Why? What's the rush? I don't understand. That's the issue I have. Why people don't ask questions. Y'all know I got a big problem with why people don't ask questions. Like, if you tell me you're not coming to Thanksgiving and it's a tradition, I'm like, what's wrong? Why you not coming? Like, I'm not gonna be like, do you? No, because this is something you do. So why are you not here? I don't understand.
You would do that.
You would.
I'm gonna ask you why. And if you can't answer me, then that's when I'm gonna have an issue. Like, oh, she real shady. But if I ask you, like, you still need to ask. Then that's the reality of it all. Why nobody asking questions?
But can we talk about how Chad bought that Range Rover and he sold the house?
Now, can you support up? You need to trade in that Jag your daddy bush.
I love him and like one day when him and Kelly finally, because he's hilarious.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious.
He talked so bad because he was like, Yeah, I guess you gotta look at the silver lining. Speaking of which, I seen Silver Lining. You seen that joint with Brad Pitt? He talks so. I mean, he is a genius. Like his comedic timing and the way he just. I'm just like, where has he been? All my adult, like, why has he not in more things? Like,
he's hilarious.
He is like, dude, you have to be like, what the other stuff he was in was in what's the NWA movie?
I've never seen him in nothing. He was in
the Straight Outta Compton.
He was.
That's what?
Hold on, I'm gonna have to look real quick.
He wasn't funny, I can tell you that.
No, he wasn't funny.
Oh, then I don't want to see him. I only want to see him in roles like that.
He's hella funny in this. I don't know if it's the writing or him, but it's the way he delivers it. He talks so fast, and then he'd be like, shoot, me and Leah over here. We ain't never seen Leah. I love them. We never seen Leah.
No, when they had posted his stories and
oh, he was DJ Yella. He was DJ Yella.
Oh, he was.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I remember.
Yep. Remember he was the DJ, the other DJ with Drake.
His stories on the show was funny too. He was like, "Man, no, baby, that was my cousin. I don't know why you getting mad."
He is hilarious. And I just want one day they eating edibles and him and Kelly to hook up because that's gonna be some foolishness.
Her and her drunk aunties having an arm wrestling contest.
Wait a minute, why did Issa's tenant come over there? Why
they met at the block party at the fundraiser because they was getting nasty at the after party.
All you ladies pop yo like this. When she showed up, I was done. I was like, you know what?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So okay. Y'all have predictions for well not predictions, because I think the conversation that we saw at the beginning of episode 1 is going to happen on episode 5. When Issa says she don't fuck with Molly no more.
Yeah.
I feel like it's coming now, right?
Yeah.
Do y'all think it's gonna be another episode?
It might be more so towards the end because it's got to leave you with a little cliffhanger.
No.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right because Molly she's at the block party and they're together.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
At the block party. I just don't know what though.
Yeah.
I need to wrap this up because it's giving me ulcers. Can we go back to like man trouble? But this friendship being on the fritz is like breaking my heart.
Because when you break up with a friend, it's like breaking up with your boyfriend. I think it's worse.
It's probably worse.
It is worse.
They've been friends since college, so that's 10 plus years. I mean, they were each other's road dogs. Like, it's just so hurtful. Something else I wanted to talk about regarding that. I don't know. I forgot. That's just a good show. It's just a damn good show.
Yeah, super happy that they announced that they're going to be back for season 5.
Oh, this is what I was going to say. I also like how Issa and her brother's relationship is cultivating. Like, and I can relate to that. Like, my brother and I are 5 years apart, and we just are 5 years apart. But as adults, we're closer than we were as children. Because, I mean, 10 and 15 is a huge gap, and we're boy and girl.
Yeah.
So, it used to, because remember first season, he was so shady. Like, first season, second season, he was just a little shady thing. But now, they're kind of, like, getting to know each other better. He be coming out to her events, and he's still shady, but in a funny way. But you can tell they're actually getting closer. And I like that little side story, that's because they haven't like hit us over the head with it, but you just see it. You know what I mean? Like they're cultivating their relationship. I'm like,
I think it's his therapy.
It could be. It could be, but I like how they are, getting their relationship. So that's like just another little aside to that.
Yeah, yeah, and also, it looks like Kelly and Tiffany's. I know they talked about a little bit on the after show. Kelly and Tiffany's relationship is on the come up.
Yeah.
Relationships go through.
They do.
Relationships all go, can go up and down.
And you can see Tiffany thinking initially, like, my friends are single. They're not even married. I probably need to get some married friends with kids. And then, because not, the unknown, you know what I mean? And then clicking and not clicking, but seeing how Kelly has come through for her and her friends are there for her, she's, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice to see. And then, what do y'all think about Issa and Lawrence? What's happening there?
I think they might have a little jump off situation.
You think it started already? Or you think it's going?
I think it might happen. I think it might happen just like one time. Then some drama gonna happen. I don't know, but I think it's gonna be like a jump off situation because he really do miss her. Like their little banter that they had back and forth is still there. It's just like.
Well, when Nola asked that question, like I never even thought, he was like, "But if she hadn't cheated, like, is there anything else wrong with her?" That was a really poignant question that I was like, that is a good question, because it's easy to be like, somebody cheated on me, so I'm out. They don't respect me, but do you still have love for her if she is everything else good in every other way besides that fact? Because eventually you can look over that, get over that. So
like Issa did Lawrence a favor by cheating on him because his ass wouldn't have made no change if she hadn't.
Oh, and that conversation she had with her brother, I'm telling you, it's so real.
Oh yeah, that was real. That was a real conversation.
She had the potential, dude. Like, and now he got the job, and he's able to do this, and him and Condola had flowers on her desk. Like, that's got to be hard to see when
that's real, okay?
Yeah. Look, I'm telling you, y'all don't understand. When Beyonce came out with "Ring the Alarm," I never felt nothing more in my soul than that, because that's so true, especially when you're with someone young and you know what they can be. Because I mean, that could happen to any of, like, I talk about my relationship, like Marcus had such potential, and I knew he would be a certain way, but if we would have broken off at some point and I had to watch the Marcus he is now with somebody else, I'd have put in the work. He never been to a restaurant with two forks till we get and now
look at him now.
You won't do nothing less than the double eagle. Oh no.
Marcus all about a tasting menu restaurant.
and it would crush my soul to just see him flourish with somebody when I was with him, and he going back and forth from his internship to his management job at the movie theater when he was in college. You know what I'm saying? Like that
he had to call you acrimony.
That's something, and you with them all the way up until they finally hit potential, and then it's like, and in Lawrence's defense, he didn't leave her when he got there. I mean, they had something happen, but and that happens to so many women. Like, I was just, so I don't know if y'all ever watched this, but when I first started watching this, I'm going off on a tangent, but when I first started watching Lifetime, one of the movies I had watched like 150 times was the Betty Broderick story. And now they're redoing that on USA as part of the Dear John series. So Betty Broderick was this white socialite in California, and she had put her husband through law school and medical school, and then they finally had arrived. And in their early 40s, he, it's like the quintessential stories. He goes off and gets some young 20-something, and she lost it and ended up killing them both.
Oh.
Meredith Baxter played her in the movie. I had watched that movie when I was like in middle school. Like, I used to watch Lifetime like a mug. And now they're redoing that movie though with Amanda Peet. But like, that's because, and I think of Ring the Alarm, like, this woman put so many women like do that. Like, she put him through medical school. She was like a teacher or something. They struggled while she was putting him through medical school, law school. Now you this big fancy, lawyer with a MD. And then when you get in your 40s, you leave me to go with some 28. No. I'm burning it all.
All coming down.
I'm burning it all down. So I get what Issa was saying, like, I had the potential, Lawrence, and and that kind of hurts to see, because she
I can imagine
that his best,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
Like, he probably paid for the date.
Yeah.
I
said, wow. And that does happen though.
And all that happens with growth and age.
I'm about to say, yeah, with growth and wisdom, it should happen.
It sucks to be the person, because like you said, as women, we fall in love with potential. We're like, oh, he's smart, and we know he can do this, and we know he's got it in him. And so a lot of women you see, and sometimes, unfortunately, the men don't even ever reach the potential that we know they have, but when they do, you hope you're along for the ride because you supported them through. And a lot of men, attribute their success to their other, their first girlfriend or their first or whatever. But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see what happens next week. Or not even next week on the Sunday, but
it'll be next week for us.
Yeah, it'll be next week for us. So keep going along for the ride. Oh,
it's so good. It's so good though.
So good. Such a good show.
So good.
So anything else you guys want to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, the Ahmaud Arbery situation, that's sad, but
for me, I'm not doing that.
at least they, is that rain coming down? At least they arrested the guys, and we'll just have to stay tuned to see what happens, because an arrest don't mean nothing. We know that with George Zimmerman, so we'll see.
Yeah, no.
Other than that, anything else been going on? No. Your president is crazy. That's always been the case. Anything else?
Yeah, I can't.
And the vice president. So I mean, it's all one big
shit show. It's a shit show.
Yes, that's it. It's
the
all one shit show. That's it.
One big cluster, you know what?
It is a cluster, yes. Yes. Anything else? I can't think of anything else that's been going on. We all watched Little Fires. Maybe we'll at some point do a review, but
I don't know. I mean, I guess that was one. You know what? To be honest with you, I really only think it was the hit that it was is because of quarantine.
Fair. I think that's fair.
I don't think as many people would have watched it if it wasn't for quarantine. So,
fair.
But
Reese Witherspoon played that part. Like she played that.
She played the heck out of her part. But I'm
all the time.
I try to support my Black actresses. Lord knows I do. But Kerry Washington and this crying scenes in her teeth, her mouth, the whole it's starting to take me out. Like I can't.
It is.
That can't be your signature. That can't be what you're known for.
Coupled with that wig bothered me.
That wig, the wig didn't bother me as much, but the every time I looked up, she like
I kept waiting for
the daughter doing it. Like the daughter was doing it. I said, "What is this?"
I kept waiting for the wig to go away. Like I thought it was essential to the story plot. I said, okay, she gonna straighten her hair, or not have to straighten it, but just have normal curls. Like that joint was like natural curls, but it was frozen in place.
It was stuck in one spot. You thought when the daughter took the braids out, she was going to straighten hers. So I don't know. It was also weird to me. Like
the other thing was too, like I was reading
poor and you sitting on $400,000. I don't.
I thought it was like you had all this money, and like, are you kidding me? And we sleeping in cars.
Money is just, you don't want to be like those people. We are true to who we are, and we live on the land.
I get it, but I'm not sleeping in no car. We could have had a warm place to stay. Like, come on now.
I mean, okay.
But spoiler alerts, all that.
Yeah, we definitely do spoiler. First of all, we all know this show was incredibly slow. Beyond all of that, I felt like it didn't give us any type of. Okay, let me get my thoughts together. First of all, she stole them people, baby, which. I was done.
But she took the money. Like
you took the money and stole those people's baby. That was not your baby, lady. Like it's just
like no part of it was her baby. It wasn't even like. Oh well, no, it was her egg.
It was her egg. It was her egg because they did the turkey baster.
Yeah, she wasn't like a true surrogate.
Yeah.
And what was that? What was that? 80 something?
No, 90s.
90s.
Was it 80s?
It had to be because the little girl was like 15. Like
she's her age because they were graduating. Well, no, she's a little bit younger because it was 1997.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's in 97, so that meant she was like in 10th grade. So she's like 2 years younger than us now. You know.
Okay.
So it was like the early 80s or whatever.
Right.
they didn't know, like, surrogates wasn't a big thing. So I just was like, wait a minute, you stole these people money and took the baby and didn't finish school though. But you didn't
think the money was for. Right. The other thing to me was that
that just blew my mind. I was like, I'm out.
And I mean, her parents were trifling, but they didn't like disown her.
No, they were trifling.
No, they were trifling.
Ashamed of her coming, they're pregnant out of wedlock. Again, no communication. You told your parents, this is what I had to do.
Yes.
You didn't believe in me. So I took it into my own hands. Like,
I agree. I read though that in the book, it's not the race thing. So I think Kerry Washington's character in the book was not Black. I want to say that's what I read, but they were like, when they brought it to TV, they thought that would be a great element and they would have help.
I did like that part. I did like that throughout the storyline.
Yeah, but I don't think she was Black in the book. Because the author didn't want to tell that, she didn't feel comfortable, writing that story. But I think, bringing it to the screen, I think the director was saying, of course they had input and, it's more inclusive. But I want to say, I think that's a change they made. I swear I read that, like in the book, she was not Black. So there was that other layer of race.
I did like that. I did like that part.
Right. It was of a class situation in the book. I don't think it was a race situation. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to double check that, but I think I'm right.
It wasn't bad, but all that timeline, everybody was hyping it. I'm gonna tell you another something that people hype, but I'm gonna finish something about this.
Oh yeah, finish that. Let me say something about this thing.
Don't let me forget about my other thing people hype, and I'm gonna be like,
I'm gonna remind you. But my other thing was, I kept waiting for the daughter and the other son to have some big secret, like she was pregnant too, or something else. I was like, is their big secret is just that they're together? What? I mean, I understand the nuances because she was, best friends with the other brother.
He liked her.
But they kept acting like it was something that they had to tell people, like, we're going to share this. We're going to have to tell them. I was like,
well, it would have hurt the other because he really liked her.
He really liked her. He really liked her. But let me tell you something. The little 17-year-old Black boyfriend was serving that little white girl up.
He was woke. When she lied about that letter, he was done. He was like, you will not ride the Black card on this.
He looked at her like, oh, so this your story? Oh. And then and then he got mad all over again. He's like, you think it don't get on my nerves every time I go over your house, your mother like, I march with Dr. Brother.
And my mother was on the board that integrated the school.
This is like saying, this is my Black friend. Like,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, he was giving her the business.
Yeah, he gave her the business. He was just like,
he held her accountable.
He really did. He really did. He was like, yeah, no, nope. And she just was like, he was like, do you know, when I got into, because she got into Yale, he got into Stanford. Is that what it was?
Princeton.
Or vice
Princeton.
Some Ivy League.
Okay, the Ivy League. And he was like, when I tell people, they're like, oh, it's because you're Black. Yeah. And he was like, when you tell people, it's like, it's that difference that's there. And she was like, I don't know what you're.
But it's hard for me too. It's been hard for me too.
Right. And he's like, that's not the.
You didn't even have a hardship to write about. That was the issue altogether. Like,
yeah, that was the issue altogether. Yeah. And he's like, no, people. If I got to the school, they're not saying I'm smart. They're not saying that I'm accomplished. They're saying I got here because I'm Black, and they need Black kids. That it's a different story than yours. And she was just like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, she just was clueless.
Right. Yeah, but them kids burning out their mama house.
I didn't know what. And then the fact that they still blamed Lizzie, and she was gone.
They were like, she gonna blame Lizzie.
I know Lizzie did it. That's the first thing the fire investigator said. Lizzie.
Yeah, he was like, "Where's Lizzie at?"
The whole town knows she had no issue. She was a lesbian.
Oh, poor Lizzie. She just wanted to be gay.
Oh, wait, so what were you going to tell us?
So, I was told to watch All in a Day on Netflix. Have y'all seen it? Well, it's about this, everybody keep calling him this riveting actor, but he just like got daggone Moonlight. The nigga don't talk the whole movie. And so, y'all know, I was real mad, okay? He ain't have a lot to say. When he did talk, he was mumbling. I was like, here go Moonlight all over again.
What is this show? You said All in a Day?
All in a Day. It's a movie about this guy.
But that's how you know, Toya, if they could convey emotion and thought and all that without saying words, that is like,
damn, you know good and well I was mad all the way through the movie. I said, is he gonna say something? Malcolm kept saying, this nigga don't talk. I said, here we go, Moonlight. Here we go.
Oh, all day and at night.
Oh yeah, all day and at night. Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put that on. So for those who are viewing and listening, Andrea and I really liked the movie Moonlight. And
no, Moonlight was not good. I still get upset thinking about Moonlight. I'm like, I got to see this movie. Everybody keeps talking about this movie and won all these awards. That's all I'm gonna say.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I loved it.
First of all, I still got an issue with everybody saying that boy was gay. He ain't say he was gay. They made him gay. I did not like that. He was not gay. Y'all made him something that he was not. He didn't talk. So how do you know what he was? I just so
well, they shared that kiss on the beach with him, and
I feel like it was forced. He just wanted to be friends. He just wanted to be accepted because his mother was a mess. His wife was a mess. He just needed a friend. All in a Day is the same way.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch this All Day and a Night. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my list.
It's Moonlight all over there. Everybody keeps talking about how this man is this riveting actor and he plays all these various parts. It's a lot of they posted on Instagram. Next time I see it, I'm gonna show y'all. And they keep talking about him in all these different pieces that he played in and how riveting he is and how he can play these parts.
Who's the actor? What's his name?
I don't even know. His head was nappy the whole time too. I don't know.
I'm gonna say his name is Ashton Sanders because I know who Jeffrey Wright is.
Oh, so Jeffrey Wright is the older gentleman.
He's the older guy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this guy is Ashton Sanders.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with him. Oh, so
oh my gosh.
He played in like a couple of other films, but
what are we gonna do with you, Toya?
Everybody else see it. The light-skinned guy that played in like Shaft or something. He always dyes his beard super black, and he's Hispanic or something. He's like black and Hispanic. So he played in Shaft. He played in one of those movies.
Oh, it's the guy from Moonlight.
With the dark skinny guy?
Yeah.
See, that's why he wasn't talking.
Well, that's who Ashton Sanders is.
He was the young guy from Moonlight. That makes sense.
Let me see.
Switching up no acting. He played the same part. People lying. I just done.
Wait a minute.
People lying.
What'd you say the movie was?
All Day and a Night.
Yeah, it's the same guy. It's the young boy from Moonlight.
See, perfect sense. He ain't switching up his role.
You didn't recognize him?
No, because I didn't like the movie. That's why I didn't recognize him. But now that you said something, I can make the connection. He plays the same part. Silent.
Oh, it sure is him.
Oh my goodness.
It sure is.
That's why everybody said it was so riveting. No, he plays the same part. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't good. It was all right. But
he sure did. He sure did play in Moonlight. Yeah.
I'm not gonna get in an argument with people on social media about it, but I'm gonna tell you what I think.
You gave it seatbelts down.
I mean, it was okay, but I was like, is he gonna say something? Like it just
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What are we we gonna do with her?
Girl, I don't know.
But y'all go ahead. Y'all probably will love it.
I'm watching this weekend, so I'll let you know.
I'm gonna finish Hollywood. I'm
gonna watch Hollywood. I want to see Hollywood. Oh my God. Anything else? Or we about done?
We done.
Oh, except we probably gonna have to do a separate podcast. But me and Toya been all in to what's going on the Real Housewives of Potomac.
Oh,
and
yeah, I'm tapped out of those conversations.
Married to Medicine. It has been some good reality stuff going on.
And went down a rabbit hole, found a new website, new
girl
bloggers from DC. Oh my God.
So we're gonna have to chalk that up later. Maybe we wait till the season air, but it's a mess. All right, well, thank y'all for watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us, if you're listening to us on a podcast, thank you for listening. But you can find us on YouTube and you can see us or see our expressions and whatever we're drinking at theyaintyourfriends.com. No, what is it? They Ain't Your Friends. TAYF podcast, something.
You need to add this to our website. I need to add the YouTube link to the website.
I mean, if you put in They Ain't Your Friends or TAYF, we come up.
Get on to the house website. That's the only way we're gonna get recognition.
Yeah. Our publicist / social media person / marketing person.
And we've been talking about redesigning
powder room.
We've been all on the internet, you know. Being tagged for a contest or anything else.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for listening / watching, and we'll be back next week because what else we got to do?
Bye.